Simon, can we start off by telling us what are we going to learn over the next few sessions?
We're going to learn about the challenges that are faced within the digital transformation era, specifically around cybersecurity and how we build that into our design.
So let's set the landscape here. When it comes to cybersecurity, who's leading this? Is it the cyber hackers? Is it the antagonists here? Or is it us, the defenders? Are we lagging behind the hackers?
Yes, unfortunately. The cyber criminals and/or the hackers or saboteurs, as you say, they are code writers. They take pride in finding vulnerabilities or gaps in other people's code. So they are finding vulnerabilities in things we were only developed or created yesterday in techniques or technology. So it takes a little while for businesses to respond to that, or security innovators to respond to it, and it takes even longer for regulators to respond to it. And I'll give you an example. You have a banking application. Everyone takes for granted that you have a banking application these days. For banks to capture market share, they want to innovate. So they'll bring to you the ability to see your insurance and or your mortgage balance, for example, within the overall platform. That means connecting a lot of legacy databases, servers and infrastructure. And that code writing that's being done to create that experience for us as a consumer is very difficult. Therefore, it opens up that possibility for saboteurs or hackers to find those vulnerabilities very easily. And unfortunately, then it takes a little while to patch it and remediate it, for example.
And what are the most concerning weaknesses or vulnerabilities that you talk about that the saboteurs are getting hold of?
The concerning weaknesses are looking at really the complexity in the architecture. We are now looking at an environment in a world where it's completely borderless. Connectivity explosion has gone through the roof. I think Gartner predicts that there is 1 million connected new devices to the internet every hour in this year, 2020. With that allows, unfortunately, gaps within the architectural complexity that has to go on, as I mentioned in a previous session around the banking application. And therefore, it's difficult to manage the overall complexity.
Well, that's the big thing, isn't it? There is this complexity of the IT structure. So how does that affect our security with it being so complex? It's
important to look at how we bring into the overall design. So we reference the Secure by Design as NTT's solution to addressing this. This is about building in security within the overall solution from the beginning rather than trying to bolt it on afterwards. We have to look at how we build the solution that can provide as much protection as possible. You're never going to be 100% protected, but you focus on what's critical to your business. And it may mean that in, for example, a nuclear facility or some sort of software organization, your intellectual property is the most important. Within a banking environment, it may be the credit card details or the personal information. Putting the right protections in place within the solution you're trying to provide from the beginning is what we refer to as Secure by Design. And that is the way in which we start to advance our capability to protect ourselves.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the landscape in this session. Maybe give us a quick recap of where we're at.
We've talked a bit about the challenges that are faced within the digital transformation era. Open systems, open architecture, borderless, cloud environments, an explosion of connectivity, which is all good for wealth creation, but it also creates complexity within this transformation era.